one and all. The time has come yet again to share stories of the weird, wonderful, and wild with you. Welcome to UFO Snap. I am Jake.
And I'm Lindsay.
I'm very excited about today. I'm very excited about this one.
Me too.
This is, out of all, this isn't like, ones that have come before us, and especially that last week one. They're directly about aliens doing some shit, right? I mean, they really have been,
Yeah, they're fucking about.
Look, you got Brazil, you got crashes, that goes back to like Roswell, you got Balbazar working with the fucking aliens. Mm-hmm. It's all been about things happening, fucking JFK,
They're us colliding.
Yeah. But today's going to be a little different. We're going to talk about some shit that goes back a long way. Like, we always say, like, okay, we're going to go back a little ways. When I play the fucking...
It's 1952.
And I play the music, I'm like, let's take it back. And that fucking bullshit. Okay? This, we're going to go back a little farther. Okay?
Okay.
Today, we're going to talk about not so much an incident, but we're going to talk about a place.
A place.
We're going to talk about a place that you're very familiar with.
Am I?
You've seen it. You've seen it a lot. I'm willing to bet everybody has seen it.
Yeah.
Everybody has seen it. Today we're going to be talking about the moon.
The moon. I'm so excited to talk about the moon.
We're going to be talking about the moon. Do you guys know about the moon? The moon is fucking weird. All right? The moon doesn't make any sense. The facts are the facts. Mm-hmm. And today we're going to be talking about some fucking crazy facts about the moon.
Weird moon facts.
And they all kind of wrap around to my favorite conspiracy theory. Mm-hmm. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, that the moon is hollow.
Hollow?
The moon's hollow.
Holla.
And it was placed there.
Somebody put it there.
Someone put it there for a few reasons. And we're going to get into all of it. Mm-hmm. The moon is bullshit.
Fuck the moon.
Well, no, don't fuck the moon. I mean, we need that sumbitch.
Wait, no, we do need, yeah.
We need it.
It serves a purpose.
It does serve a purpose. Mm-hmm. Like to think about that.
Serves a purpose.
Serves a couple of them. Moon is bullshit. And I love this one so much. But first, let's talk about some moon theories. Uh-huh. Okay? So theories of moon formation, right? If we got to talk about the moon, and we're going to talk about what I think it is, we got to talk about what people also think it is.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about a couple theories. The first theory of how the moon got linked to the Earth. Mm-hmm. It's called the capture theory. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It suggests that the moon was just kind of floating along, just kind of, and drifted a little too close to Earth. It was pulled into orbit.
Gotcha,
bitch. Gotcha. So that's called the capture theory. However, this is almost impossible due to the specific conditions required for that to have happened. So, I'm going to file that one away under bullshit. Now, another one is the accretion theory.
Accretion.
Sounds
fancy.
Which says that the moon and the Earth formed out of dust clouds in the early solar system, right? Mm-hmm. But if the moon was formed this way, this is the problem. If the moon was formed this way, it would have an iron core. Just like the Earth. And it would spin on an axis. Neither which are true. Because the moon doesn't spin.
That's right.
We guys.
The dark side of the moon. There's an album.
If you didn't know this, you've never seen any other side of the moon but the side that you've seen. Like the moon, you've never seen the backside of the moon ever. It doesn't rotate. It stays regardless of where you're at on Earth. You will only see that front side. It's kind of weird.
This is kind of weird.
But we're gonna get back to that. So it can't be that one, right? So we're gonna throw that one out. Right? So that one's in the bullshit pile. Then we have a fission hypothesis. It's pretty popular for a while.
That it was a chunk of the Earth that broke off?
Yeah, it was spinning, that the Earth was spinning so fast that the moon was formed out of rock in the Pacific Ocean that was flung into space. However, we learned that the moon rock is actually much older than the bottom of the ocean. So we threw that one out too.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Now, the most popular, and I'd like you to really remember, most popular doesn't always mean the fucking right one.
No, it's not a popularity contest.
No. The most popular is the giant impact theory. Now, this theory suggests that a large object about the size of Mars smashed into the proto-Earth.
Proto-Earth.
Go proto. Proto-Earth. That sounds like a prequel to RoboCop.
Right?
Before RoboCop, there was Proto-Earth. Starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, I'm going to get the Proto-Earth. Do you do any impressions so I can fucking throw to you? Do you do any?
I don't do really any impressions. I do voices, but they're not of like famous people. They're just like character voices.
Proto-Earth, starring Earl and Marge. Yeah, Marge, they got the UFO, and I hear that he'll RoboCop Proto-Earth.
Yeah, I
okay.
cannot do this.
So, about the size of Mars.
We need RoboCop versus Proto-Earth.
What is Proto-Earth?
I have no idea.
Is that like I just watched that like Omicron or like Galactus.
That's the version of COVID I had.
Omicron. Isn't that the name of the fucking bad guy in the new Transformers movie? Omicron?
And
I'm
not sure.
Have you watched any of those Transformer fucking movies?
The last one I watched was the Mark Wahlberg one, and
which one?
It was the first time he was in it, and it was his daughter, and it's just the worst fucking thing I've ever seen.
So they must be trying to reboot this whole thing, right? Because I just watched this, spoilers, I just watched this fucking Beast Wars movie, the new one, which I was excited for because I watched the cartoon.
The cartoon, yeah.
And it's guys, this is the best one yet. It's the best Transformers movie. If you fucking are like, fuck these movies because like Fast and the Furious, we're down the pipeline, go back. This is a good one. Ron Perlman kicks ass as Optimus Prime.
Ron Perlman's in it?
He's Optimus Primal. He's the monkey.
Oh my God.
He's fucking Michelle Yeoh is in it. Yeah, or whatever. It's fucking good. It's actually really good. It takes place in the 90s.
Oh, cool.
So the last one, Bumblebee, took place in the 80s.
Okay.
And then this is actually a sequel to that one.
Okay.
It takes place in the 90s. And fucking extra, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's an end credit scene. Remind me after this and I'll spoil it with you.
Okay.
That sets up an interesting crossover.
Okay.
They're going to cross over Transformers with another franchise.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's
very interesting.
Okay, I can't wait to find out.
But it's really, really good. I don't even remember why I brought this up. Transformers.
I don't know. We were talking about fucking RoboCop versus Proto-Earth.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, no, okay. No, Omicron.
Yes.
Because in Michael Bay's last shit movie, The Last Night, they said that that Omicron or whatever his fucking name is Earth. It's like lives in the middle of Earth. Okay. But in this movie, he's a motherfucker in a different dimension. He's not even. It's like they're just like, fuck you, Michael Bay.
Oh, wow.
You go you get the fuck.
You don't care about canon.
Yeah, get out of here, Michael Bay. Michael Bay's over here just like, I'm just hanging out with my 2 movies in the Criterion Collection. No big deal. No big deal. You guys remember my Emmy Award winning movie, The Rock? Yeah.
The Rock fucking rules.
Yeah, it did.
It's such a good movie.
That was back when he was
such a good action movie.
That was back when he makes good movies. Oh. So, big fucking thing smashed into Earth the size of Mars. Mm-hmm. And the debris field from the collision kind of created the Earth-Moon system. Now, the conditions would have had to have been so perfect that the odds are astronomical.
Yeah.
Really.
Out of this world.
Out of this world. Now, a recent theory is a combination kind of all of these. Right? Suggests that a large object collided with Earth about 4.5 billion years ago. Essentially vaporizing it. Now, this vapor called synesthesia.
Okay.
Synesthesia? Called a synesthesia. Yeah, synesthesia. Whatever.
I don't know.
And whatever this thing was spinning very rapidly, right? Forming a torus. Now, this one I know. A torus. Do you know what a torus shape is?
I used to drive a Ford Taurus.
A torus, like in geometry, a torus is a donut.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay. So it formed a donut. And the moon formed on the edge of the donut. And then...
Like a sprinkle?
Yeah, like a sprinkle. And that's like the latest thing.
That it's a donut sprinkle?
It's a donut sprinkle. and then it sort of formed on the thing, and then that's how it placed itself within Earth's whatever.
Okay.
But despite all of that, we don't fucking know.
No, we don't know.
No one knows. It's all guesswork.
Because when was the last time we were at the moon?
It's been a while. And I'm not convinced it's because we found out that it's not real.
Go on.
Mm-hmm. So there's a bunch of moon anomalies, okay? And I'd like to address some of them. Now, when you're right, we've been to the moon. Mm-hmm. Now, moon rocks and soil samples that have been brought back from the moon are strange, right? Now, on Earth, the newest rocks, right, are on the surface. Right? So if you're like dating a rock, right?
Yeah.
The newest rocks are on the surface, and the rock gets older as you get deeper, naturally, right? It's logical, makes sense.
Or up in mountains.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But on the moon, the soil on the surface is actually older than the rocks underneath. And the surface rocks are older than the rocks underneath them. It's backwards. Like, the only way that happens here is if we dig.
Yeah.
But otherwise, there ain't nobody digging up on the moon.
I mean, they play golf. And they rode around in that dune buggy. But they weren't, I didn't see a shovel.
But this is all over. This is everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere you look. The farther you dig down, the less old it is.
That's very odd.
It's very odd, right? Now,
because usually that's like something living.
Right. Another thing about the moon is planetary structures, right, usually have denser materials towards the core, so it gets heavier, and then lighter materials towards the surface. On the moon, this is reversed. It's actually more dense on the edge and gets less in the middle. And we'll get into that even more in a second. Now, I want you to think about the moon's surface, right? We've all seen photos of the moon, right? It has fucking craters all over it. Big ones, small ones. From asteroid impacts that have happened for billions of years, right?
All over the place.
Right. So
you can see them with the naked eye.
You would expect that the rock around these impact craters to be different ages because it's been happening forever, right? But there's a strange uniformity at the edges of all of these rocks. The other thing that's really weird about it is if you think about all those craters, right? They're different widths, but none of them are different depths.
They're all the same depth?
They're all the same depth. Almost if they hit something that they can't quite penetrate.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're all the same depths. Now, the chemical makeup of lunar dust is also super weird, right? Because you'd think lunar dust is the result of billions of years of impacts, right? So it should be made of the same shit as the rocks.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's made up of its chemical makeup is completely different. So the dust isn't formed by the rocks colliding or something, because it's completely different. Now, the moon doesn't have a magnetic field, right? Like we know this.
It doesn't have gravitational pull.
Doesn't have any of that shit. No.
Very light gravity.
Very light gravity.
But it's not gonna.
But it doesn't have an iron core. It doesn't have a magnetic field whatsoever, right? Yet moon rocks are strongly magnetized. How can that be? Another fact, the Earth is 4.6 billion years old. We know this, roughly. But the oldest rocks we found are much younger than that, right? So we know that in the core it's that old, but we found like the oldest rocks that we can get our hands on are way younger than that.
Yeah.
Way younger, right? But on the moon, it's in reverse. Rocks are way older than how old we think Earth is.
Really?
They think it's way older. Some rocks have been dated to the very beginning of the solar system, and some maybe even earlier than that. Another weird thing. There's a lot of weird shit with the moon. Uranium-236 and Neptunium-237 are these elements that are found on the moon, right? They're radioactive, okay?
Okay.
They don't occur naturally.
You have to...
The only way we see these isotopes on Earth is if we create them. Mm-hmm. Usually it's an explosion, but we have to create them. They don't occur naturally. Some more in that field, titanium, chromium, and zirconium, which are rare on Earth, are found in abundance on the moon. You know, so if the Earth and the moon form together, why is there such a discrepancy?
I don't know.
It's almost, we have nothing in common.
Nothing in common.
Nothing in common. You know, it's weird, but you know what's also kind of weird is all that titanium and that chromium, which is just found everywhere on the moon, right? Mm-hmm. They're some of the most robust metals known to exist in the world, and the most highly resistant to corrosion.
Resistant to corrosion.
So if you wanted to reinforce a structure, these would be the metals that you'd want to use. The structure reinforcement could explain why all the craters seem to be the same depth, no matter how wide they are. It's as if they were hitting a metallic shell just beneath the surface of the moon, preventing anything from, penetrating it.
So
further.
what they got in there? They got something in there. Someone's hiding in there.
Yeah. There's a lot of weird shit, right? So like this is where the hollow moon thing came into play. Mm-hmm. Okay. So there's weird seismic activity with the moon. Okay. And this all started with Apollo 12. Okay. After the returning to the command module, Apollo 12 crew intentionally released the lander.
Yeah.
To help for weight, right?
Yeah.
Crashing it onto the moon's surface. Mm-hmm. But that's when something fucking weird happened. We have seismic readings, or it's like seismograph sensors on the moon.
Yeah.
So we can measure this shit, right? So when that thing hit, it showed that the moon rang like a bell.
It rang?
It rang like a bell and reverberated for more than an hour.
Did anybody answer?
I mean, it was a very small size object compared to the size of the moon.
Yeah.
Right? So what are we going to do? Well, let's do it again, but
hit that fucker.
This time, during Apollo 13, poor guys.
Oh, yeah.
An even heavier object was crashed into the surface. This time, the moon rang out for over 3 hours, and vibrations traveled to a depth of over 20 miles.
Jesus.
It doesn't happen on Earth. That'd be like if you fucking drove a car, like if you dropped a car from the sky and it hit the ground, it's not going to fucking vibrate 20 miles down.
No.
And
not at all.
And it's not going to cause an earthquake or vibrations that's going to ring out for 3 hours.
No.
What the fuck? You know what I mean? And when this does happen, when something, like that would happen, it only lasts like a few minutes because we're super dense. On Earth, vibrations slow down as they move towards the center of the Earth, right? That's because it gets denser. But the vibrations on the moon actually get faster around 40 miles down, indicating that the moon's not only far less dense, but has big hollow cavities. Because what would, you know what I mean? Because if you think about it, vibrations traveling down, 40 miles down, it starts getting more intense. It had to have opened up.
Open an empty space.
Yep. Now, I know I've thrown a lot at you, but...
it's fucking nutty as hell. I mean, you're talking...
But even if you look at some of like the more simple things, right? The moon has some weird just characteristics in general, right?
Yeah.
The moon is actually more like a planet than a moon. At 1/4 the Earth's size, right? No other object in the solar system has a moon this big.
Yeah. And what's the technical term? It's a satellite.
Yeah, it's fucking huge, right? Let me tell you how rare this is. This occurs nowhere else. And I don't mean like nowhere else in our solar system. I mean nowhere else that we've ever seen anywhere ever. And
because other planets have moons.
Other planets, well, that's the other thing. Most other planets have several
moons.
Lots.
Yeah.
Jupiter has like 290.
Uranus is out of control.
Oh my God. Uranus is mooning left and right. Did we just do that?
We did a Uranus
Did we just
joke.
did a Uranus joke?
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
Uranus joke.
So stupid. Oh my God. I love it.
I love it. But this occurs not only nowhere in our solar system, this occurs nowhere anywhere. So, we've never seen this. We're the only planet out of the billions of places that we've been able to peek into that happens like this.
So what is the conspiracy theory?
Well, we'll get there.
Okay.
So the moon, there's a few more weird facts.
Okay. More weird moon facts.
Yeah, because I'm really selling this.
You are.
The moon orbits much more closely than it should, right? And the orbit itself is a mystery. It's the only object we've ever observed, anywhere, with near perfect circular orbit. We don't see this anywhere.
No, it's usually like oval.
And because of its near perfect orbit and its size and distance from the Earth, the moon appears in its perfect placement in the sky, almost the exact same size as the sun. And this is what allows us to have eclipses. Our distance to the sun is 400 times our distance to the moon. And the size of the sun is 400 times the size of the moon. Perfectly. If those numbers were not perfect, we couldn't have eclipses.
Good God.
What? This happens nowhere. Nowhere, right? Even at a coincidence, it would happen one other time somewhere.
Yeah.
This happens nowhere that we've ever, not even like a part of this, like none of this. There's several steps to this that doesn't happen anywhere, any one of these steps.
Yeah.
So, here's where we're at. It's 1970. 2 Soviet scientists looked at all of the evidence and all of these coincidences and came to what they felt was the only logical conclusion. They agreed that their theory sounded crazy, but said not only is the moon hollow, but it's also a spacecraft that traveled here in the distant past. Okay? Now, every ancient culture on Earth has stories about the moon.
Yes.
But it's interesting that the further back you go, the fewer stories there are. And if you go back far enough, there are stories that talk about a sky before the moon arrived. Roman and Greek authors of the 5th century BC have stories about the Procentlians.
The Procentlians?
Yeah, something like that. Who lived in an area called Arcadia. And they said that they've been here since before there was a moon in the heavens. On the other side of the world, an ancient culture in Bolivia also refers to a time when there was no moon. Like at all.
No moon.
In that group actually claims the moon arrived between 11,500 and 13,000 years ago.
Imagine being there on the day that thing showed up.
Just like
what? Where did that come from?
That's the closest you're ever going to get to what the people of Alderaan felt like when the Death Star showed up.
Yeah.
That's, you know what I mean? I mean,
just mass hysteria.
Yeah.
One day a moon shows up.
Yeah. Yeah. The moon, and it's weird because like the moon is, 1/4 our size.
Yeah.
But it's far less our mass. Far less. Like a tenth. It's like ridiculous. And the moon is super important, guys. I don't know if you know about this, but like the moon fucking keeps our shit like working. Like our climate, it balances out our climates. Mm-hmm. It keeps our oceans at bay. Mm-hmm. Our world would not be as human friendly if our moon wasn't there.
And we wouldn't be able to see at night.
Well, that too. Yeah, so that goes back to the whole thing. It's like, well, if we didn't have the moon, Earth would kind of suck. So, if you go back and if you're an alien race, I'm just asking questions. Mm-hmm. If you're an alien race and you decide that you want to do an experiment,
so they're up there watching us like we're some giant fucking Truman Show.
If you do an experiment,
because isn't the moon in the Truman Show the control center?
Yes. Oh. Yep. And you want to use this little blue planet over the Milky Way galaxy as your test tube, well, you got to make it habitable. And we just got to throw in a little ball over here and and she good to go. We just need to balance that bitch out.
It's very interesting.
It's very interesting.
Because it's like, what are they? They're just up there watching?
I don't think they're up there at all.
No, it's just.
I think they're here. I mean, if we remember last week's episode.
Yes, true. But initially, when it arrived, it's they were up there watching us.
Well, yeah, but you also have to. I think they were here then too, because that's where you get into your stories about the gods that come down.
That's true.
You know what I mean? I mean, even that story, back then they talk about, the gods placed the moon into the sky and the rain stopped and everything. I mean, you think about it, that long ago. That's right. That's like right before the Younger Dryas period.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's when like shit was supposed to, we had the Great Flood, and then everything calmed. What if?
What if? I mean, yeah, you could.
Listen.
It's like a lot of these stories like start to some of them like intersect with each other.
Yeah.
But then some others like just deflect each other.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
So it's hard to see a pathway.
It's true. The thing I like about this though is there's so many provable anomalies.
Yeah.
Like
we're supposed to be going back soon, right?
Yeah, in like 3 years. They're working on it. We did step 1. We sent Artemis around the moon, and that worked. After they failed doing it like 5 times. And then so like step 2 is they're going to send a crew around the moon.
Okay.
And then back to Earth. Step 3 is they're going to build a little mini space station that's going to orbit moon.
Okay.
And have a lander that SpaceX is going to build.
Oh, wow.
And that's based on their Starship. And then so they'll fly from here to the space station and then take the SpaceX craft down to the surface of the moon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I imagine we'll know about the aliens by then, officially. Because there ain't no way. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's why they're dragging out that we're taking so long to get back. Because, you know what I mean? It's like, we can't talk about the moon. But why has no one else gone there? You know what I mean?
Nobody else.
No one else. You know, why hasn't Russia gone back there? Russia, literally, before SpaceX, made the Cadillac of rocket engines.
Yeah.
We bought them, guys. Like, seriously, before Elon Musk and SpaceX, I know everybody thinks he's a douchebag. That's fine. But before SpaceX came around, we bought those engines from Russia. I mean, come on.
It's like, it's a lot to take in, lot. If you take it all in.
Yep. I mean, the thing about it is these are undeniable facts. These are all verifiable. These are all, I mean, this is all. So is it an alien spacecraft? I don't know. Is it hollow? I can't say that it's hollow, but I can tell you that it gets less dense the farther you come in.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of weird anomalies that don't
make... The moon's fucking weird.
The moon's fucking
weird.
The moon is bullshit. and it's fucking weird. So what I leave you with is...
So, when there's a full moon, they say that people go crazy during a full moon. I wonder if that's like...
Like they're sending a signal?
They're sending out a little signal.
Meow,
Like,
meow, 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 meow,
let's stir up some shit.
Yeah. Let's do it.
They get a little bored up there, they're like, let's give them a nudge. Let's give them a nudge.
I'm gonna say there's nobody in the moon. I'm gonna say that shit is like AI or some shit. You know what I mean? Like that thing is self-sufficient.
I just picture like just some guy. It's like the fucking the movie Moon.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say with what's his name?
Oh God,
Hammer from.
Neither of us are gonna come up with this.
Justin Hammer is his name in a movie.
He was in the fucking Charlie's Angels movie.
Oh my God, why are we doing this to ourselves? You know what? I'm not even gonna edit this out.
Sam Rockwell. Fuck yeah, it came to me.
I'm gonna let that go through. So what I would suggest is, you can believe what you want.
Yeah.
I just gave you a whole shit ton of facts, so you can't not believe. I mean, you can, because look at where we live. But
yeah.
But I just gave you a bunch of facts. Feel free to go out tonight and take a look at the moon and think about the fact that it's fucking bullshit. And that's all we have for you today. Thanks for hanging out with us. Be sure to check us out online.
Oh, shit.
And fuck that moon.
To the moon, Alice.
To the moon, Alice. Goodbye.